let me tell you a little story. So my great granny, she was showing me pictures one time, and she showed me a picture of her grandma. This is my great granny's grandma. So now she was long gone, but when she was showing me this picture, this woman was definitely not alive anymore because I was a kid. But this picture was in black and white. And to me, when I looked at this picture, I saw a black woman. And this woman, she would always talk about how everybody would say she had such beautiful eyes because they were this bluish gray tint. Now, I'm looking at this woman, even as a kid, and I'm like, that's a black woman, right? So I'm asking my granny about it, and she's like, oh, well, we don't really know. We just know that down the line, they said that she was Cherokee, we think. We think she was Cherokee. Somebody had told me something about a Cherokee princess, that think that she might have been a Cherokee princess or something. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Because when I grew up, I learned that, in fact, when I did my ancestry and all that, and I talked to people down the line, I learned that, in fact, was a black woman that had some white in her and some native. Okay? So, now this is my great-granny's grandma. And then on my dad's side, it's in there too. It's on my dad's side as well. I'm talking like full-blooded Melungeons, okay? Now, it got watered down over time because, again, they were mating with white people, just straight white people. Europeans, essentially. And so it got a little bit watered down over time. But I remember people wouldn't say that word in my family. It's people to this day that won't admit that they are what they are, and they think that that's a racist word. It's not a racist word. And I grew up and got educated and learned that. It's some of my relatives that are darker than me that won't say that word because they're ashamed of it. And I've tried to educate and they just won't. But they are what they are. You know what I mean? They are Melungeons. So, over time, again, this got watered down. Now, I'm from East Tennessee. Where Melungeon people originated was from Newman's Ridge, East Tennessee. That's where I don't live in Newman's Ridge, but I live in East Tennessee still to this day. And that's where it originated from. This Cherokee princess nonsense that they try to put out was just because of white supremacy. They thought it was more okay to be Cherokee or Native than it was to be black. Right? So that's in my blood. Now, obviously, we can see here pasty white. You know what I mean? But I've got the other traits. When I was a kid in school, they used to make fun of me for my hair, because when my hair was shorter, you can look at some of the pictures I posted, but now that it's grew out, the weight of the curls have become less tight. When I was a kid, I had shorter hair. My hair, ask anybody who went to high school with me, my hair was poofed up, and so kids, kinky curly hair. And so the kids would look at me and be like, you look weird. You don't look like us. And I got picked on for that a lot of my life. But, I had to grow up and be educated, because it's people even in this hills that won't say that word because they're ashamed of it. They're ashamed of what they are. So, I'm not surprised anymore when I hear people say they got a relative that's a Cherokee princess or something along the lines, because I just know that's probably a Melungeon, and I can tell usually by looking at them. Because it doesn't mean just dark skin. That's where people get it fucked up. It doesn't mean just dark skin. Now, if I go out in the sun, I don't like to go out in the sun because it's too fucking bright and I'm like a vampire hiss. But when I go out in the sun, I turn a lot darker. Easily tanned. Easily. But it doesn't mean dark skin, okay? You can look at my eyeballs here. And my hair when it's down, you can look at some of the pictures I posted. I got the hair and the eyeballs and the high cheekbones. You know what I mean? But as far as the dark skin, that passed me up mostly because I don't go outside. I hate going outside. I do go outside. I'm just being dramatic. But, it's a lot of people that's confused. They don't know their history or they're ashamed of it. But Melungeon did originate from East Tennessee, where I live. Still live. The original Melungeons, that's most definitely my relatives.